Good day to Miss and friends. Our presentation will be conducted along with our poster with the title Eco Palm Oil. My name is Shan Jia Lyao, together with my group mate Chan Ning, Yi, and Xiao. In summary, from recent news by DH Market, palm oil is always an important resource in this world. It's a consumable vegetable oil that comes with the fruit of palm tree by living organisms, including us. Now, 85% of global supply of palm oil are from Indonesia and Malaysia, but still, palm oil was produced in another 42 countries as well. The European Union has some issues related to the palm oil, where the EU intends to reduce and completely stop the usage of palm oil in the future, which they aim to completely phase out in the year 2030. This had caused Indonesia to come up with an idea to resolve blank economic activity from palm oil to another. Although Indonesia specified that they wish to continue with supplying palm oil towards EU with a more sustainable and environmentally friendly way, but for now, they already took legal action towards EU at World Trade Organization (WTO).
I'm Shan. I will present the reason why EU banned palm oil from Indonesia. The EU Parliamentary Resolution on Palm Oil and Rainforest Deforestation was issued on 4 April 2017, shocking the Indonesia's palm oil sector. The adoption of this resolution poses a difficulty for Indonesia's palm oil goods, particularly those destined for the EU market. First reason that makes EU want to prohibit the import or use of palm oil from Indonesia is Renewable Energy Directive (RED). The European Parliament's RED policy aims to reduce the impact of non-renewable energy consumption on global warming and greenhouse gas emissions. Indonesia, the EU's primary source of biofuel raw materials, is affected by this legislation. The European Union imposed import restrictions due to Indonesian palm oil manufacturing practices that are considered ecologically harmful. The European Union's trade barrier against Indonesia is described as a kind of protectionism. The European Union put a stop to Indonesia's unsustainable palm oil market. New protectionism, in which the European Union employs non-tariff obstacles, is defined as trade protection justified by environmental concerns. Second is RED2. The European Parliament revised the draft RED in early January 2018 to include a prohibition on palm oil biofuels in Europe beyond 2021. By 2013, renewable energy will account for at least 35% of the EU's total energy consumption, according to the RED draft endorsed by members of the European Parliament. In attempts to combat climate change, the EU is a leader. Efforts to decrease specific kinds of biofuels are included in the agreement achieved in the EU revision of RED2, when the European Commission released a draft policy entitled Dedicated Regulation Supplementing Directive of the EU RED2, which was filed by the European Commission on March 13, 2019. The EU palm oil limitation was reviewed. Third is concerning on other oil industry. The EU Council Parliamentary Resolution declaring that palm oil goods cause deforest, violate human rights, and are unsustainable demonstrates that European business actors are supportive. This is because Indonesia's palm oil products are seen as a danger to the olive oil industry's survival. Olive oil derived from sunflower seeds is highly famous in Europe and is extensively manufactured. As a result, if palm oil goods penetrate Europe, the popularity of two types of oil on the continent will be diminished. The researchers have estimated the financial impact of the EU's biodiesel export restriction. Each Indonesian palm oil product exports a different percentage. 20% of the 67% of biodiesel exported goes to EU nations. As a result of the prohibition, the percentage of biodiesel exported will drop from 67% to 54%. The EU prohibition has a negligible impact on overall export value, which is expected to be $44,064 million without the EU ban, and $43,597 million with the EU ban in 2035.
A very good afternoon to everyone. I'm Yi, and now I will continue with the reason why EU shouldn't ban palm oil from Indonesia. The first reason is the importance of palm oil towards the Indonesian economy. Indonesia is a country with the largest palm oil production and exports. Few industries in Indonesia have grown as rapidly as the domestic palm oil industry within the last 2 decades. This growth shows that the country fast increasing output and exports, as well as the expanding area of the palm oil plantation. Indonesia is the supplier of half of the world palm oil, and based on the statistics, Indonesia produced roughly 48.3 million tons and export 27.3 million tons in 2020. The domestic palm oil demand in Indonesia is increasing because of the country's growing population. The exporting palm oil contributes a significance to the Indonesia foreign exchange earning and the employment rate. In terms of the economic development, Indonesia's most important export industry is palm oil, which it has contributed 1.5 to 2.5% to the country's GDP. And according to the past research, exporting palm oil have increased 2.46% of GDP in 2017. The second reason is the importance of palm oil towards the EU. In 2020, the EU nations have consumed roughly 7.1 million tons of palm oil, which is rising 4 million tons since 2000. Palm oil is a key component of our daily necessary, where based on the statistic, it shows that nearly 1/3 of the palm oil shipping to the EU is used to make the biodiesel, with the remainder going mostly to the food and the chemical sector. If EU ban palm oil, they have to find other alternatives to replace palm oil. But unfortunately, other vegetable oil would need a much larger amount of land usage compared to palm oil, but it only produces a little amount of the product, while palm oil use of the less land and production of a large amount of the product. In short, banning palm oil will cause a gap of price between palm oil and others become bigger. While the last reason is the expensive substitute and the replacement. Palm oil has been increased using as a biofuels feedstock in EU, as it is cheaper than the rapeseed oil, which is the local produce. Palm oil is used as a bioenergy feedstock and a cleaner energy, which it has increased the environment advantages, such as lower the CO2 and the sulfur dioxide level. The cost of the productivity feedstock will be increased if the EU ban palm oil from Indonesia, where the palm oil used in the feedstock can only be replaced by the rapeseed oil and the soybean. As compared to the rapeseed oil and soybean, palm oil has generated a much larger portion of its value from the oil, where it is not only used for the feedstock. In conclusion, there will be an impact toward both countries if palm oil has been banned. That's all for my part. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chan Yin and start to discuss the impact part. European Union countries have banned the import of palm oil from Indonesia because of many incidents in the recent year. So what is the impact of Indonesia when this restriction happened? The first of the restricted may impact on the landowner. The export of a limitation could cause the demand and the prices of palm oil fall in the short and medium term. If the palm oil is banned, landowner may face the overproduction, so they not only need to suffer the loss from the loss of the road export, but they also need to find the alternatives to consume the overproduced palm oil. This will increase their costs. But in the long term, Indonesia will obtain the new business opportunity outside the EU market. However, the short-term loss of the export is still a big problem for them. The second problem may be the unemployment rate in the Indonesia. According to the data, Indonesia has 16 million employees working in the palm oil supply chain, and 3.78 million are employed in the plantation. This shows the palm oil and vegetable oil company are the most important contributor to the country's GDP and to the employment rate. As evident, one of the studies concludes that if the stimulus of the 100% palm oil export ceases, employment rate in the Indonesia palm oil sector will decline. Apart from that, the decline in the palm oil export has a greater impact on the labor force in the rural area rather than the urban area. because the workers remaining in the rural area are the more unskilled workers who work as a plantation. In short, limitation of export may impact the labor force. The third impact is the economic growth of the Indonesia. Once the export restriction occur, an excessive import to export will lead to a trade deficit in Indonesia. A trade deficit reduces the income of a worker as well as indirectly reduce the GDP of the region. Furthermore, the export will affect the output and land indicator. One of the studies states that the reduced exportation of palm oil goods will affect the local land ownership in the rural district. Besides, the statistics show an increase of 8% export volume of palm oil from the 2015 to the 2016. From here, we know that the palm oil is significant for the Indonesian economy and the banning of the palm oil will affecting the national output of the Indonesia. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Shan. Let's talk about policy recommended towards Indonesia. First is to increase efficiency on use of land. More rigorously usage of land consistent with the ability identified in previous research and the accomplishment shown in the plantation of Malaysia will generate in increased resource effectiveness and productivity. Increased consistency in land categorization and openness on land distribution and usage are needed to promote sustainability in Indonesia's sectoral policies according to biofuel, agriculture, forest and climate policies. It can help with reducing land demand, forest and biodiversity conservation, carbon reduction and better land productivity. This helps in expanding the palm oil business without increasing the land supply. So, Indonesia should give out and define a national plan for encouraging better palm oil yield like Malaysia. Next is collaborate with appropriate governance, for example, ISPO and RSPO. This has become an important tool for business to realize their promises to produce palm oil that is exempt from deforestation, heat expansion, exploitation, and the use of fire. The use and sourcing of palm oil in business are encouraged to be apparent, allowing them to know who given them in purchasing from and the origin of the product is being produced, and as well as letting the smallholder program and sustainable landscape initiative can be invested in and supported. If the companies have all these components, they can begin to speed up the transaction of conventional sustainable palm oil business, allowing it to remain and play an essential role in food security. Lastly, Indonesia should imply a stricter rules and regulation. The rules and regulation is needed to be set or modified to a more suitable one to solve the problem that appears upon plantation of palm oil in Indonesia. For example, high level of compensation and imprisonment once a lawbreaker was found. Give advance restriction on giving out plantation-related licenses, or even cancel land ownership or contract if found any rules and regulation broken. The Indonesian government's failure to manage local resource distribution is hidden behind the term of illegality. To control access to resource, local authority holders employ a combination of statutory and informal laws. Strong politicians and securities officials are occasionally used to hide abuse of judicial system. Local government actors are lack of capacity to deal with this power broker, sometimes as a consequence of local elites working within the government, and sometimes as a result of unclear local regulation that contradict higher level of legislation. That's all from me. Let's go to the conclusion part.
In conclusion, palm oil is always an important resource in this world. In the recent news article released by the Edge Market, the European Union has some issues related to palm oil as the EU plans to reduce and phase out the usage of palm oil in the future, which they aim to completely phase out in the year 2030. The reasons why EU banned palm oil from Indonesia have been stated. However, palm oil may make a significant contribution to national economies and an important component that is difficult to replace. The reasons why EU shouldn't ban palm oil from Indonesia also have been stated. Hence, there are some impacts towards Indonesia aim to solve this issue from the environmental aspect and recommend some policies have been stated in this report. That's all from our presentation. Thank you.